Hi friends, y'all haven't seen Jasper in a while, by the way. Look at Jasper. He's so sweet. This was a very highly requested video. We got behind a few weeks because of the Idaho situation and the whole Brian Koberger situation. But here is this video now. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. A lot of research and work went into this video, and the part 2 will be out very soon. So make sure you are subscribed if you're not, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss it. Other than that, yeah, here's the video. Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a very highly requested case, the case of Courtney Clenney. Now this case is ongoing. She's awaiting to go to trial. And this is the case of the Instagram model that got into a situation with her boyfriend in Miami earlier this year in April. Now, when this case hit mainstream media, my DMs blew up, my emails blew up, I got tagged in everything. And one of the reasons why I feel like I was overwhelmed with DMs is because Courtney follows me on social media and I follow her as well. So therefore, people feel like I know her. And I am gonna tell you guys at the end of this video some conversations that I did have with Courtney. So make sure you stay to the end. And I'm also gonna tell y'all the whole entire story. And I have really put some information together for y'all so y'all can have all of it in one place. And then after I tell y'all the story of what we know so far, I'm gonna give you guys my opinion at the end when I tell y'all the conversations that me and her have had. And it ain't much, so don't get too excited. Courtney Tailor on her social media accounts, who we know now as Courtney Clenney, her legal name, was born in 1996. She's 26 years old. Courtney and her family moved to Austin, Texas when she was just 7 years old. And then at 13, she started taking dance, singing lessons, and began to go to acting workshops. Her family had high hopes for her, and she had an outgoing, big personality, and she wasn't afraid of anything. As time went on in her late teens, she got some small roles in movies like Boyhood and Everybody Wants Some. So young Courtney and her family believed that she was destined for stardom and great things. In her young adult years, she even landed a role in G-Eazy's music video for Me, Myself, and I, which ended up being a huge hit. Courtney said because of her role in that music video, which to me the role seemed like really in the background and kind of small, but she said because of her role in it that she started having people reach out to her. They would look for her on social media, and she started gaining followers and traction even that way as well.
Did you smash G-Eazy?
Now, Courtney has over 2 million followers just on her Instagram alone. And her Instagram is full of pictures of your typical, what we would call now as an Instagram model. And looks like she's living the dream. She gets tons of comments reminding her how beautiful she is.
So when I was 18, almost 19, I followed all of these like OG Instagram models. And after a while, I was like, wait, I could do that too. So I started posting consistently almost every day on my Instagram photos of me, like the typical Instagram model photos. And I did that consistently for a few months. I reached like 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers. And after a few months of doing that consistently,
Courtney started off her social media journey with fitness type of content.
My name is Courtney Tailor, and I'm about 8 days out from my first show, the NPC West Coast Classic. And today we're gonna hit some back and biceps, so let's get started.
She would show herself exercising and do what I eat in a days. She also shared parts of her journey with doing fitness competitions as well.
I get to have a burger and fries right now. I've been waiting so long for this. And you can believe that I'm gonna vlog that. Believe that.
And then later on, she went on to doing OF, and she was doing OF all up until earlier this year. She was even said on a podcast that she's making $100,000 a month. So she was making a lot of money. So from the outside looking at it, she had it all. Young, wild, free, no children. She wasn't married just yet. She had a boyfriend. We'll get to that. And plenty of money at her disposal. She could have done anything she wanted. She could have hopped on a plane and went over to Greece for the weekend. She could have done anything. Before we go any further, I did want to stop and thank today's sponsor, Liquid IV. Liquid IV is a hydration multiplier drink mix that I have personally been using myself for quite a while now. I use Liquid IV. My family uses Liquid IV. It is truly wonderful. Drinking just one Liquid IV hydration multiplier drink mix hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just drinking water alone. It is a great tasting electrolyte drink mix that is perfect for staying hydrated, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of a traditional sports drink. Liquid IV is made with clean ingredients and packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and even vitamin C. You just tear it open, super easy. I drink one of these after every single workout to make sure that I stay hydrated because I have been dehydrated before and it is a nightmare. And I think I've told you guys this before. This lemon lime is truly my favorite. All of them taste good. I have never tasted a Liquid IV drink packet that did not taste good. But I think the reason why I love the lemon lime so much is because this is the only citrusy like drink or drink mix like this that I can drink that doesn't give me heartburn. I'm very sensitive to stuff like that. And this never, ever, ever bothers me in any way. And it is so good and refreshing. And I know it's the new year. Y'all have got goals. I've got goals. But while we are achieving our goals, whether it be walking, I've been telling y'all about walking, 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever it is, or if you're going to the gym, riding bikes, whatever you're doing, football with the boys, being outside, make sure you are staying hydrated. Liquid IV believes in their products so much, they want to send you a free sample pack. All you gotta do is click the link down in the description box and they will send you a free sample pack of the hydration multiplier today. All you gotta do is pay the shipping, but you can try it today and figure out which one of these flavors you like best. Thanks again, Liquid IV. Now, although from the outside looking in, Courtney's life looked perfect. It seemed like she had everything that she could ever want or dream, and plenty of people envied her lifestyle and her up-and-coming fame. However, behind closed doors, things were quite different. Courtney was developing a serious substance issue, drinking and doing other substances, and it was becoming a problem in her personal life. But nevertheless, the people around her laughed it off, chucked it up to her just being crazy or out there, and she kept going. Now, Courtney, along with her dogs, Jessie and Ranger, said online to her followers that she was going to be moving to Miami and that she needed positive vibes for her move. She would tell her followers that this was going to be a big change for this little Texas girl. So on January of 2022, Courtney and her boyfriend, Christian Umbumseli, who went by Toby by his family and friends, moved to a luxury building in Miami. She moved into this 3-bedroom unit on the 22nd floor with a view of the beautiful bay. I did hear that this apartment that Courtney was living in was allegedly 10 grand a month. So honey, this was very expensive on Miami, 22 stories up with the view. You know, glass windows surrounding it, absolutely stunning place to live in. Courtney started dating her boyfriend, Christian, who was 27 years old, back in November of 2020. Christian was allegedly a cryptocurrency investor, and their relationship had been rocky from the beginning, to say the least. There were friends of Courtney who got to know Christian, who again went by Toby to them, and they just fell in love with him instantly. They said he was the life of the party. He was very kind. They loved hanging out with him. And there were even friends of Courtney's that would go on to say that they were very nervous for Christian because they could tell that Christian really liked Courtney and that it seemed like they were moving way too fast. Courtney got pretty belligerent. I mean, she stayed tore up all the time. As a matter of fact, she was arrested twice for a DUI, once in 2015 where she was sentenced to 3 days in jail for the DUI, and then the second time she was arrested for a DUI, and this was in 2021, she wrecked her white Mercedes-Benz into another car and she blew a blood alcohol level of a 0.3, which is over 3 times the legal limit. And if that wasn't her wake-up call, I don't know what was going to be. The security and the building staff at the Miami apartment documented many incidences of loud arguments between Courtney and Christian. It was said that tenants that lived in this building as far as 2 stories above them made complaints about hearing them arguing. Again, this is an apartment building that has, condos for $10,000 a month and up. They're expecting for it to be quiet, classy, and well kept together. So there was a lot of complaints going on, and it was even said that this apartment building was already moving to evict Courtney and Christian because of the disturbances, and they had just moved in January of 2022. Now, let me just tell y'all about some of these alleged incidences between Christian and Courtney. Now, I need y'all to know that I have to say alleged because I wasn't there. We're going to go over text messages. We're going to go over some body cam footage. But again, everything in this video is alleged. Go do your own research, form your own opinions. Just don't show hate to anybody anywhere. So Courtney was actually arrested in Las Vegas for domestic on Christian in a hotel in July of 2021. A security officer told the police that they had Christian and Courtney in custody for a possible mutual. Christian told the police that they had come to Las Vegas to visit for a few days just to have fun, and that he said that he got into an argument with Courtney and that Courtney threw a glass that barely missed his head. Court records indicate that the district's attorney's office dropped the case against her back in August of 2021.
I don't feel that I should be getting arrested at all right now.
It is also said that when the cops were arresting Courtney, Christian was crying. He did not want her to go to jail. He was trying to do everything he could to keep her out of jail, but nevertheless, they did end up taking her. However, it still didn't seem like Courtney learned her lesson because in October of 2021, just a couple months later, Courtney allegedly Christian in the leg. There are text messages that were found in Christian's phone where he talked about how they had argued over her taking his phone. He could barely effing walk. And then in another text, he wrote that the next morning he still woke up happy and he said to her, "I still gave you a good day even though my leg was hurting because my girlfriend stabbed me. Did I make you feel like crap for me? No, I just sucked it up and hoped tomorrow would be better." That is so sad that he texted her that. Like, I have so much I want to say already, but I'm going to try to keep it into the end. And then get this. The very next day, allegedly there was another incident where Courtney was the main one going after Christian and Christian was begging for it to stop. He pleaded and begged her to open the door to their apartment so he could just lay down on the couch. Christian said to Courtney in a text message, "Now I have a lump, I'm bleeding, I'm throwing up. I think I got a mild concussion and I have anxiety. I slept in the restroom for 2 hours and I am just lost beyond words." 5 minutes later, Courtney responds to this text message where this man is outside bleeding, puking, hurting, and so upset with a text that says, "I'm sorry for hitting you in the face and in the back of your head and spitting on you. Is that right? No, but you just piss me the F off sometimes. But I still love you." Did we learn our lessons from this? No, because it continued on into January of this year, 2022. In January, there was an alleged of Christian's face, and he ended up in the hospital with stitches all the way down his lip. Now, the thing about this is Christian at some point started documenting his fights between him and Courtney.
I'm actually not having a good day where I actually literally want to kill, but you don't take me seriously.
And I don't know what he was thinking, if he was thinking, one day I'm going to go to jail, or one day she's going to say I did something to her and I'm going to get blamed for it. So he started documenting in his phone. So text messages show that on January 30th, they were planning on buying some blow and going out and, having a good time. However, Christian and Courtney end up getting into over some text messages. So Christian was down at the bar watching the football game and Courtney was texting him. He responded to Courtney, "Yes, Courtney," and she flipped her lid. Okay. She said to him, "Yes, Courtney, yes is so unnecessary, da, 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 da." Then it's unclear what happened between the two from there until the next text messages pop up. And that would be when Courtney texted Christian's phone and said, "Hopefully this will give you time to think about your actions. Enjoy the hospital." At this point, Christian was allegedly on the way to the hospital with his 2 gashes on his face. Courtney would go on to allegedly text him, "Tell them your side of the story and I'll tell them what really happened." Christian responded to her text by saying, "I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to say it was a football accident." However, while he was at the hospital, he continues to text Courtney. He texted her the rest of the night and into the next day, and that's when he said, "I was in the hospital looking forward to seeing you, and you go out and drink and leave with someone when your boyfriend is passed out on the bed getting stitched up because I lost so much blood." So from them text messages, it seemed like he was in there and she decided to go out partying and get drunk with her friends and do whatever she was doing. Eventually, she would text back again and say, "I'm sorry. I should have been there for you. I feel so bad. I beat myself up about it, da, 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 da." But do you see this cycle that we've got going on here? In February, the security camera picked up a video of the two of them entering the elevator to go up to the 22nd floor in this luxury high-rise apartment building. As you can see in this video, it seems like Courtney is the main aggressor. Now, you could look at this video a bunch of different ways. I'm not going to dissect that in this. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen in the trial. I did see at points where it seemed like Christian was smiling. So I don't really know what the dynamic was between them. But nevertheless, you do see a video of her hitting him. Now, Courtney, I believe her attorney said that the reason why she was was because she was trying to keep him from going up to their apartment. She didn't want him around her. She wanted him gone, da, 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 da. But nevertheless, you guys get the picture here. And then allegedly Courtney and Christian broke up the last week of March, but then they got back together on April 1st. They began to argue almost immediately. The police came out to their apartment building on April 1st after they were called by a building security employee. The security employee told the police, "We get down here to the lobby area and her boyfriend comes charging towards her. Christian allegedly tried following her into the elevator after she said she didn't want him to." The body cam footage of Courtney talking to the police has since been released, and you guys can watch it here.
Came after her and Paul was walking towards there, and then I just said, enough is enough. Police need to be called. She said she don't want police to be called. But when it's in a common area and something happened like that, my safety is the residents first.
I stayed in my apartment all day. I didn't take my dogs out for like 8 hours because I was afraid that when I came down here, I was going to be down. And when I did come down, I walked my dogs, and he was telling me he wouldn't leave me alone. I said, "Can you please just walk my dogs? We're not together."
Courtney, does he have any property in your apartment?
He has so much. Can I, with respect, can I please? I just like my heart. I just feel like I'm not being heard.
What else do you need?
I was told I was going to get a chance to speak.
Go ahead, Courtney. What's going on?
Now's your turn.
Are you gonna listen?
We're listening. Go ahead.
Say something wrong.
All right. So what do you want to say?
I want to be like, I want to be like exonerated, I guess, of like anything wrong. And I want him, okay, the police are here. I want a restraining order against Christian Gonzalez.
We don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm serious.
Courts.
Can I do that?
You have to go to court. You have to go to downtown.
But how can I make
petition?
myself first? Because I know him and he would do it. How can I make myself first?
You gotta
a lot of opportunities to call y'all, and I did not. So when he's following me around this dog park, I said, "There is no, your time is up." Like that's it. And then all of a sudden, he followed me to the elevator, and I said, "Don't fall." This guy said he had to shoved her. When I was upstairs and they showed up on my door, I said I shoved him. I said, "Show me the video." Like I really got angry because that did not happen.
You understand? Your questions are making much of an...
I am. Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but, like, right now, I'm a freaking victim in the situation. I was scared to go down there to walk my dogs. I just walked him, and I told him, you don't have a chance, and now, all of a sudden, this is all happening.
What's his name?
Christian Tobecha Kurobim. So, like,
Christian?
Please, just, like, don't... Get me kicked out of my own apartment.
So as you can see, this is a situation where you have the actual employees of this building saying that he was the aggressor this time, you know? So you really don't know what is going on, but what we can tell is this is extremely toxic, and at the very, very, very least, neither one of them are handling any of it the right way. There were also recordings that were found on Christian's phone where Courtney was like yelling at him and screaming all these crazy sounds. Listen to this.
I need to leave my phone. I need to go home. I need to talk to somebody. I need my phone.
CCR.
Don't touch me!
What is going on? Like, are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you?
No, Christian.
Like, you're thinking I'm doing it on
Drop your high pitch.
Okay, I'm not doing it on purpose.
You touched Sahara. The right thing to do is to tell me.
Yes, and I am so sorry.
So shut up and let me. You done. Give me my phone.
You have your phone.
I don't have it anymore. Find it and
What?
find it and charge it.
I'm sorry, Courtney.
I don't care. Find it and charge
Okay,
it.
just stop.
Don't touch me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm telling you I'm sorry.
It is my heart. Find my
I don't know where your phone is.
Find it.
Can you help me find it?
I won't!
So why?
Find it!
Why are you screaming, man? Not man, but why?
Yeah, man, yeah,
Not
man, yeah, man. Yeah, man, man. Yeah, 'cause I'm a little man. I need to find it because I have to go meet her again.
To go out?
No!
You said she's right.
Christian, just find my goddamn phone.
I don't have your phone. Can you just
find my
Sissy, can you just please
Shut up!
please?
Shut up, you went to go
I didn't go to go.
Yes, you did. You always on your
Courtney, I was
You
on.
literally told me about it now.
What are you
Yes, son.
I didn't go to talk to
You are
Aura.
not gonna-
I was going on a bike ride. Like, what the
Get off that.
Going to talk to Aura? Is this gonna make you act like this?
Talk to her without telling me.
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said, hi, you and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me You're Yes, thank you. Coming from Courtney, thank you.
I want you to get away from me. Get away from me.
So y'all can see this is a very, very toxic, scary situation that they both should have gotten away from each other, and Courtney definitely needed to be getting help somewhere, and she had all the resources to do it. Now, after this incident on April 2nd, they should have split. They should have left each other. And the way that Courtney was talking to the police was that she was terrified. However, she let him back in the apartment, whether that be because she was lying to the cops when she was standing there, maybe she was being dramatic because she didn't want to get in trouble, or because she loved him and she was stuck in this cycle of abuse. Either way it goes, she allowed him back into the apartment. Christian's mother gets a phone call, and it's a very strange phone call, something that she wasn't expecting and something that she was trying to make sense of. She got a phone call from somebody working in the coroner's office that said, "Do you still want to donate your son's organs?" She was like, "What are you talking about?" They were like, "Are we going to donate his organs?" And she was like, "What? My son is dead?" And the person said, "Oh, you weren't contacted yet." Listen to this.
At work, and the lady said that she's calling to know if I'll give them the permission for Toby to donate his organs. And I'm like, what? Donate what? I told her, I said, "Ma'am, I don't understand what you're saying." And she asked me, "Are you saying that the medical examiner's office has not contacted you. And that was on Monday. I gave my sister the number to call. And that's how we got to know.
That is I can't even imagine that. That is the most awful, I can't even imagine. But it just doesn't get any better from there, because when Christian's mom gets off the phone with them, she immediately starts calling her husband, Christian's dad. Well, he's at work, so he's not answering the phone call. He sees it and he figures I'll call her back. But then she gets a hold of Christian's brother, her other son, and her son calls the dad. Now, the dad knew that his son would not call him at work unless it was an emergency, so he picks up the phone. When he picks up the phone, he's upset. He's crying, you know. Toby's dead. What do you mean Toby's dead?
I was at work myself. She called several times. I didn't know. Not until my son called and I was saying, what's up? Usually he doesn't call me when I'm at work, you know. So I picked up the phone and he said, Daddy, come home. Toby's dead.
So the family began to communicate, and when they got a hold of the investigator to find out what had happened to their son, brother, cousin, the investigators was basically like, what? What do you want? This is a case of, you know, self-defense, case closed. We're getting ready to close this case, and it was about to be done. So what had happened to Christian now? On Sunday 3rd of 2022, Courtney called 911 to report that she had stabbed Christian in the shoulder.
Operator, don't give the address of your emergency. Okay, ma'am, please.
3101. It's 130, so 130.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
3101.
I'm gonna die. I can't feel my arm.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's that? What's the address, baby?
3131.
3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend.
Ma'am, is this a house apartment or a business?
127452582.
Is this a house apartment or a business?
Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
If you have a stab wound to his shoulder, can you sit down?
What do you mean he has a stab wound on his shoulder, ma'am?
Yeah, he's bleeding from his shoulder.
Rescue, this is PD position 2. The caller, ma'am, hold on one moment. The caller advised the address is 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, 31 Northeast 7th Avenue. The phone number is verified. The caller advised that her boyfriend has a stab wound.
Okay, is this a house, apartment, or a business? Get up. Listen, please, God, please, God. Please, God, please, God.
Listen, ma'am. I'm sending help. I need you to tell me exactly what happened. I'm sending help. How old is he? Ma'am, how old is he? Is he awake? Hello? Hello?
However, the day it started out peaceful, seemingly. Courtney and Christian had woken up together that day. They had played with the dogs all morning. They took some pictures and some videos. And then Christian took the dogs out while Courtney did a live stream on Instagram. When Christian came back, he brought Subway sandwiches for the both of them. It's not clear how the situation escalated, but Christian and Courtney began to fight. It is said that while he was out so she could do her live, he was riding a bike down in Miami, and he ran into one of her friends and he said hey to her friend. Well, when he got back with those sandwiches, she was mad about it. Allegedly, they started fighting and the fight escalated. Investigators determined that the stabbing must have taken place between 4:43 p.m. when Courtney called her mother for the first time and 4:57 p.m. when she called 911. 11 minutes before Courtney called 911, a neighbor had called 911 to report a disturbance in their apartment. When the police arrived, they found Christian bleeding out and Courtney covered in blood. Christian passed away after being transported to the local hospital, and Courtney was initially sent home after giving her statement at the police department. She said that Christian had pushed her and threw her down to the floor, and so she grabbed a kitchen knife and threw it at him from about 10 feet away. Now, according to investigators, Courtney's version of the incident has been considered inconsistent with the medical examiner's findings, which stated that the stab wound occurred from a forceful downward thrust, and it was not caused by Courtney throwing a knife at him from a distance.
The cause of death was a stab to the chest. Christian was stabbed as the knife punctured the subclavian artery in his right chest. The chief medical examiner further determined that the knife entered Christian's chest in a downward angle to the depth of 3 inches. In other words, the medical examiner has indicated that the fatal knife wound which entered Christian's chest was the result of a forceful downward thrust penetrating 3 inches into that artery you just saw.
Now, right after this happened, all of these photos of Courtney was going viral. At first, they didn't release her real name, and they said that it was because they ended up having to Baker Act her, and because it was a mental case, they could not release her name. This is when I started getting the influx of the DMs and the emails and people asking me to respond about it or make a video about it, because I guess people think that when you follow somebody online that you know them personally, which all of y'all must know me personally because y'all follow me. I see y'all, okay? All right, no. The reason why I didn't was because it didn't make sense. Something wasn't right in this case. Now, at first, I didn't have all these text messages either. All we had was that she stabbed him and that she was covered in blood and that they had released her. But when I started researching it, I'm like, wait a minute, she stabbed him one time, like, and in the shoulder. Okay, and she hit an artery. Obviously, she wasn't smart enough to know exactly where the artery was. There's a piece of it missing. And so I have been following this case and waiting and watching. Well, originally, like I said, they did not arrest her, and it looked like she was going to get away with it until Christian's family got involved. And let me tell you what, his family, they are a force to be reckoned with. When I see any videos with them in it, with his cousin, his mother just seems so precious, and his father and his brother, they look like twins. This is his older brother, but I mean, they look identical. Them genes are strong. But like just seeing them sitting in the courtroom, they are dressed to the nine. They hold themselves together. They got foots on necks, okay? And Courtney, she's in trouble. This family, they're not here to play, and they are traveling to make sure justice is being served. So Courtney went ahead and got a lawyer because she knew then that there was going to be an investigation, because originally there wasn't an investigation. It was going to be case closed, case of self-defense, She ended up going to Hawaii and checked into a rehab. The attorneys had an agreement that if they were going to put out a charge and arrest her, that they would let her defense attorney know so she could turn herself in so it wouldn't be an embarrassment. Well, they changed their mind, honey, and they put out a warrant and they had her arrested and then extradited back, which the defense was really upset, but it is what it is. So at the time, she's sitting in Miami-Dade County Jail, which is not fun. Now, new photos have been released / circulating on the internet that show Courtney with bruises on her. These photos were taken by her mother on April 3rd, just after the stabbing incident. Now, it seems like Courtney is going to say that this is from abuse, but like, in my opinion, these bruises are old. These bruises did not pop up. It takes a minute for the bruise to show up. I mean, some people maybe y'all bruise instantly, but at least takes overnight for me or whatever. But these bruises could be from a situation between her and him in a previous incident, but that definitely don't look like it happened the day of. She just had a bond hearing, and it was a for real bond hearing. Okay, they had witnesses and everything. And in this bond hearing, her dad gets up there and testifies. He's on her side. The gist that I get from the testifying is that little things were sprinkled in there. Now, mind y'all, this ain't the trial. The trial's going to happen next year is what it's scheduled. But it sounds like Courtney had issues with her family at home too, and that she may not have even been allowed around certain family members because of her behavior. And that's going to probably come out in the trial. But nevertheless, when she got arrested, she had over $1 million sitting in her bank account. Now I want y'all to think about what y'all would do. I know some of y'all got it sitting in y'all's bank account. Shout out to y'all. Coffee's on you next time we see each other. But for everybody else that don't have $1 million just sitting in your bank account to play with, what would you do if you had $1 million in your bank account? Probably a lot of things other than go get drunk every single day and beat up on your boyfriend. Like, dang, there's so many, like, I'm just sitting here thinking about her perspective because I've been in jail and been sentenced to prison before, so I can really put myself in her shoes to a degree, okay? She done messed up. She has messed up. She could have done anything, and so could have Christian, you know? So could have he. He had a awesome family behind him. He had a good education. He carried himself well. He was handsome and he was very charismatic. People liked him everywhere he went. He could have been anything, but he chose to stay in this abusive relationship. Now, I do know that they are going to say that the abuse went both ways, and maybe it did. And maybe during the trial, we're going to see things about Christian that we don't know. So I don't want to just seal the deal that Courtney is the most terrible person in the world. But what I can tell you is if all of these things in these text messages are true, she was heading for destruction. She was going to hurt somebody. And this is the problem when you get away with stuff. And I want y'all to listen to me because there's some of y'all out there that are watching this right now that are doing something you know you're not supposed to do. And you keep telling yourself you need to stop, but you keep doing it. This is where it ends. Okay, this type of thing is where it ends. You can only get away with something for so long before it catches up with you. This chick had what people would consider the world at her fingertips, not me, because I'm all about what is it to gain the world but to lose your soul. If you don't have inner peace and joy, baby, you ain't got nothing. But I'm just saying, from the world that we're living in, the social media realm, she had everything and now she has nothing. She's lost everything and she's facing a long time in prison, and in a Florida prison too. And when I tell you, they are bad. They're horrible. I'm going to end this video with telling you guys about my relationship with Courtney because I know some of y'all want to know. It's about the relationship that a lot of us have. She started following me on social media years ago. I want to say maybe in 2018 or 2019. And she would comment on my stuff and I would comment back on her stuff and say, "Ooh, girl, you look good. Ooh, that," because back then it was like the saying like, "That's bae," and stuff like that. But we never had a conversation. Every now and then she would respond to a story or like, when you give a comment, and I would do the same. And then I want to say earlier this year or last year or something, she did send a message that made me really realize that she had a substance problem, but never like a conversation. Like I didn't have her phone number. I didn't know her real name. I don't know her. I ain't never, I have no idea about anything. It was a very social media, hey girl, what's up relationship. And I have that relationship with a lot of people, and so do y'all. So that's the extent of my relationship with Courtney. Now her trial is, I would be willing to bet it's going to be televised because everything so far has been televised. And again, it's in Florida, and y'all know how we do it here in Florida. And so we're going to get to watch the trial, and we're going to get to see what her defense is. And it better be good if she was giving self-defense.
Hey friends, so editing Christina here. Literally right after I filmed this video, they released the interview of Courtney Clenney, which is that quick little clip that you guys saw in the beginning of this video where she said she was actually watching my video or listening to one of my videos right before Christian came in, and what happened. So in the next video, we're going to go over that interview. I'm going to show you guys the highlights in my opinion.
So we have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What I think went terribly wrong, like, oh my goodness, what I think is going to happen, and we're just going to talk about it in the next video, so make sure you guys are here for it because you're not going to want to miss it.
Because her past, it looks bad. And I think it's also important too that you guys remember the way the justice system works. She does not have to prove herself innocent. She only has to show reasonable doubt that she was in fear for her life in that moment in order to defend herself. And so we're going to see. I think it's going to be a nasty trial. I think there's going to be all kind of stuff brought out. What do you think? Do you think she is guilty? Do you think there's more to the story behind Christian? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Other than that, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.